Hey everyone, thanks for joining and just holding fire for those few minutes. We've got more people for this one than the last one, which is great. It means we've got more pros, which I like a lot. Hopefully everyone here is well versed in using Hike and yeah, getting lots of value out of it. So what I'm going to go through now is I'm going to go through Hike for Pros webinar. I'm going to focus on probably, if anyone was just on the previous refresher webinar, then we're going to focus on the same sections, and some of the content may overlap, but I'm just going to maybe pick out some of the additional little tips and tricks that we've got for each section. As with last time as well, we're recording both of these, so you'll get these as emails sent out probably tomorrow. We've got live chat or chat through Zoom. So if you've got any questions to go along, so I've muted everyone just to make this a little bit smoother, but we've got Nadia and Kieran who are managing the chat. So yeah, if you've got any questions at all as we go through, anything that you want to mention, please let them know as we go. Also, it would be great if you guys could send some feedback on the Facebook group afterwards. So if you're not a member of the Facebook group, I think Kieran's going to include the URL in the chat. Just to let us know how you found it, like was it valuable? I think we'll probably make this sticky, probably do this monthly. But are there any other areas that you want us to focus on? So maybe there are certain features where you want to spend a little bit more time doing, which is absolutely fine. Just let us know if you can feedback. That would be fantastic. And yeah, what I think I'll do is we'll just get started from here. Okay, great. So here is your dashboard. So with the dashboard, when you log in, what you're going to see is hopefully you guys have seen this quite a bit. You're going to get your quick tips at the top. You can have your keyword ideas. You can revisit your keyword and add more keywords. If you've connected up Google Analytics, you're going to get your website performance coming through. You're going to get your action progress, keywords, a few more other bits. Like I mentioned in the last video, do scroll down and look at the bottom because we add content there. So maybe our latest video will include down here. Our latest blogs will always include. One thing that a lot of people miss is you can add a custom widget. Now, this was something that we built, but we haven't really pushed very much, mainly for our agency customers. So one customer, for example, uses a content calendar from Airtable, and another person pulls things through from Google Drive. And they wanted to be able to include that within their actual dashboard. So when they log on to Hike, yes, okay, the parts in dashboard are nice, but maybe they just wanted to have something a little bit custom. Especially maybe if you're sharing this with your team, you might want to have other bits on there for them to see. So you can add a widget. You can choose whether it would be half width or full width. You can give it a heading, and then you can put the content in here. And you're allowed to put HTML in here. So you can embed HTML and iframes in there, and they should work pretty well. They work well for those that use it at the moment. Yeah, just a nice little tip if you want to mix up what's actually on your dashboard. You can have these at the top. So let me go back. Okay, cool. So that's it. So let's go through the little tips and tricks from the different features kind of in order. I'll just go down the left-hand side here. One thing also was I think I got a bit carried away at ending the last meeting, and Kieran and Nadia were responding to some people's messages, and I didn't give them time to. So if we didn't answer your question, please drop them in the chat now. I'll put them on the Facebook group later, and we'll get back to you. So with the keyword ideas, obviously you guys are Hike for Pros, so you know what you're doing here, which is really, really great. Just a couple of things that maybe just to help you use this more efficiently, not many people know. So you can find keywords one of three ways. You can find keywords by typing in a keyword suggestion. If you want to see all your previous suggestions, you click this button here, keyword ideas. And what it's going to do is going to pop up all of your previous suggestions that you'd searched for to save you typing them in again. So if you click on this, so if I click on, I think SEO software, if I click on that, what happens then is it then filters all the results below that, that it showed me. That's a nice way. You can look at existing keywords. It shows you the keywords you already rank for, or the website you've put in already ranks for. So another thing you can do is you can hover over the button and it will show you where you rank currently for that. Now that data is taken from the competitor section, which I'm going to go into in a little bit more detail shortly. So hold fire on that. You've got search volume and priority, and you guys know about those and adding them in. Competitor keywords. this can give you quite a lot of information here. It will pull through all competitor keywords. They might not be as relevant as those that recommendations you'll find under keyword ideas or existing keywords, because some of your competitors might have keywords that they rank for in industries separate to yours. One of the best things you can do really is to use this filter. What that will do is that will then filter all of the results by anything that you're looking for. So I can put in links, I can put in SEO, I can put in software, and it's just then going to filter all of the phrases by that, which is a lot easier when you're looking through bulk number of keywords. To use that makes it a lot easier to find what you need. Also, within your chosen keyword list, when you start to build out your list, you'll see that they're added in kind of chronological order, but you've got these filters here. So one of the best ways, if you're looking through your keywords and you're trying to go, okay, which ones have I already chosen? Just click this. What it's going to do is it's going to sort it alphabetically for you, so you can have it A to Z or Z to A. Again, just a quick way, same with priority and search volume as well. An easier way for you just to have a look through and go, okay, these are the phrases that I've already got. So that's kind of, I guess, the little tips on here. So moving on to the next bit, the sitemap. Now, in the previous webinar, I went through the basics of here. A couple of sections that I want to touch on here, probably just something, just very, very quickly, is choosing a homepage keyword. I mean, still a lot of people get confused about what keywords should they choose for their homepage. Should I optimize my brand name? Should I optimize a generic keyword? Your homepage typically has the most amount of SEO value. It's the page where Google starts its crawling most times, especially if it's just going to it for the first time. It's the page where you're going to have most of your backlinks to. It's a hub, right? And because of that, it has most amount of your SEO value. So if you can optimize a keyword on there, there's obvious benefits because you're going to be piggybacking off that SEO strength. It really depends, though, if you have an umbrella term or an umbrella keyword that sums up everything that you do. So let's say we're Hike, for example, and DIY SEO sums everything. We are a DIY SEO platform. Now, we have other keywords that I want to rank for, absolutely. So, for example, SEO software for agencies. But I'm not going to put that on my homepage because my homepage isn't just about agencies. It isn't just about small businesses or startups. It's about the product as a whole. So I wouldn't want to put a keyword that's more specific, just one of my audiences on the homepage. Now, sometimes it might be that you've created landing pages for every single phrase that you want to rank for. And you're like, well, what can I put on my homepage? If that's the case, don't worry about it. Just optimize it for your brand name. And don't try and utilize it. If you can, great. If you've already got a site structure that doesn't lend itself to having a keyword on the homepage, don't worry about it and move on. One of the extra things, just from a more technical point of view, if you're assigning keywords, remember there's this box down here. So if you haven't created a page yet, but you've got a couple of keywords that you want to rank for, and you're like, well, I haven't created this page, but I want to remember that I need to build it on a new page, or I want to make sure that I want to optimize it. Then you can check this little box, and what you can do is you can enter in a URL. You can just put like test, for example. And what will happen now then is a new page is assigned at the bottom. And now you can add in any keyword that you couldn't optimize before. And what will happen is Hike will remember that. And then later on in your actions, you'll get a recommendation saying, oh, make sure to build this page. When you do build that page, it'll ask you for the URL of that new page. So you go, hey, I've built this page now, here's the URL. And then we can start to provide you with your SEO recommendations for the keyword that you've assigned. So yeah, I think that's just make sure everyone knows about that. Cool. So next I want to go on to content. So content scrapboard, all about finding ideas for writing your content around. As I mentioned in the previous video, content's fantastic because what you're doing is you're able to bring in customers who don't necessarily know that they need your solution or your services just yet. So customers might search a number of ways. They might search directly for what you're offering. So for us, SEO software. They might search for a feature. So for us, like backlink tracking. But they might just have a query that your software solves, but they don't know that they need it yet. So they might go, how do I get my website higher in Google? How do I drive more traffic from Google? And you want to be there because for those people searching those questions, they're potential customers for you. And that's where blog content really comes helpful. It also allows you to strengthen the keywords that you want to rank for. So one of the things that we do here, and I recommend to everyone we speak to, is when you're finding content ideas, try to find 3 to 4 blog posts that support your main keywords that you want to rank for. And then you can edit them within here to help you track that. So for example, right, we've got SEO software for small business that we want to rank for. Now, I can optimize my page, I can build links, that's all going to help. But something else I can do to help is to actually create, it's called a content pillar, but to create supporting blog posts which aren't targeting that exact keyword, but they're talking about that industry. Maybe they're talking about long tail, like the ultimate guide to small business SEO. How does local SEO benefit small business? Now, I'll create those 3 or 4 pieces, and I make sure that all of them link through to that kind of pillar piece, which is my SEO for small businesses page. And what's going to happen there is Google's going to see that relationship, and all of those blog posts are going to support that. So what I do is whenever I choose blog content, I come into here, I click edit, and I add a little dash on the end, and I remind myself what keywords this content is supporting. Then I can get to work on creating it, and I know exactly where it needs to internally link. I know exactly what the purpose is of it. That's cool. And bear in mind also, you can drag and drop here. So when things are added, you can move things up and down. And what will happen then is within your actions, when it says, hey, create X piece of content, we work from the top. They're the highest priority. So if you want to work on this piece next, add it to the top. What that's going to do is that's going to be the first things that we recommend. You can find ideas by clicking through here, which hopefully you guys have all seen. All of your previous searches will be there. You could do 3 new searches a month. You get 3 credits. They add up every month. You can do new searches. What's quite nice is, so startup marketing search I did earlier. Now there's loads and loads of results come through. I'm looking for the ones that are kind of questions that people ask. So I can filter for those terms that help me find questions. So let me put in what. Okay, so now I've got what are the most successful strategies for startups? What are the best strategies for startup business? What is it? What is startup marketing? I can search. For's a great one. Marketing research for startup, hacks for startup marketing, digital marketing for startups. So straight away, I'm able to find more of those blog-friendly titles and questions that I need to ask for. So that's a really nice tip that you can do. You've got these three buttons on here. And I guess just the final thing on here is, even if you can't find a title you didn't want, you can just manually add in a title anyway. So I can put in like test blog title, and then I can just add it in and add it to my scrapboard. So if you are working from this, then you can still add in your own ones manually and add them into here. Cool. Okay, so let's move down to competition. One thing that very few people know about competition is you get all your competition data and you can see all your competitors, but we also provide this data for your own website. So what you'll see is you'll see your own website at the very top. So Hike SEO. Now, if you click on it, this is where we, remember on that first stage where you're choosing your keywords and you can see existing keywords, this is where we get that data from. So it shows you all the phrases that we found that you already rank for. And you know, sometimes it can be really interesting. Even I didn't realize that we rank Airbnb SEO, we rank position 38. You know, you can rank for keywords you don't even realize. So it's good to go through that. One thing that I mentioned on the last webinar is every month you get 3 new credits. Now with those 3 credits, you can either run 3 new competitors, so you can add an extra 3 competitors, or you can use those credits to refresh the data, because every time a competition audit runs, it runs for that date. So it grabs all the information on that date. So it grabs all the keywords that they rank for from that date, all the traffic from that date, all the backlinks from that date, all the blog content ideas from that date. You know, so if you haven't, you know, if you've been a member of Hike for a year and you've got a competitor in there, that data isn't up to date. You want to refresh it. So the way that you can do it is you click on settings and you press refresh data for whichever site it is you want to do. And it's quite nice to do it on your own website if you haven't done it for a while, because you'll see the total number of keywords and you should see that increase. I'll tell you what, we're going to do a test. I don't know when this was last done for Hike, but this is where it could all go horribly wrong. We're probably ranking for less keywords. But what it's going to do now is it's going to refresh. And we'll come back to that, hopefully at the end if I don't forget. And hopefully there'll be a change where it'll show how many keywords, if we haven't done it recently, for example. Okay, yep, that backfired on me. It's less keywords. Okay, but it's what you want to be doing. You want to be refreshing these audits, especially if it's really, really interesting for you. Cool. Don't forget, you can look at traffic stats. Now, you'll have this for the bigger websites. We pull this traffic stat information from a tool called SimilarWeb, which is an enterprise level tool. You have to pay a lot of money for it, but because we access it via the API, we could do single calls. And what they'll do, this is estimated traffic stats. So for Moz, you can see that's the estimated traffic they get, page views, bounce rate. But it's interesting because you can see what countries their traffic's coming from, what sources. So SEO is the big one from Then Direct, Referrals a big one for them. And you can see some more information. So do have a look at that. But you won't get this data for all websites you put through. It depends on the size. Backlinks as well. We pull the backlinks from Majestic. Don't forget there's the export function here. Now, if you export that, you're going to get them all on the list. You're going to get way more data. So if you're doing some real in-depth backlink analysis, make sure you export it. Okay, cool. Right, let's move on to actions. So you guys are all aware of how actions work. I guess just a couple of tips or tricks you might know of. If you set you can set your monthly hours, which is how many hours of SEO actions that you want per month. Now we allow a maximum of 20. Sometimes people max out that 20, or alternatively, sometimes just people want to see everything. If you want to do that, click on this button here, view actions by type. What you're going to see then is every single action we have based on our last crawl for your website. So there's 219 on-site actions, 27 keyword actions, 21 local, 60 content actions. So that's every action that we've got based on the last crawl. So it's not based on priority. It's not based on any hours. It's just every single action. So if I click on on-site, I'm now just seeing all of my on-site actions, so you can work through those. You can export all your actions as well. If you want to share them with a team member or maybe with a client, you can do that. One thing, you can add manual actions as well. So you can, if you're sharing it with a team, you can add a little manual action at the top. Oh, let me see, uncompleted actions. Okay, yep, you got your progress bar. You can create a manual action. So it might be like create new blog post. You can say what it is, set a priority level as high, how much time you want it to take. Let's say it's going to take 60 minutes, and add the action. Then it's going to add it to the top of your to-do list. So if you're sharing it with a team, it's great for managing this. Okay, so let's go. One other thing I want to show you here is if you go into settings, you've got this recrawl. So at any point, you can force Hike to do a recrawl of your website. You've got 3 options. We'll naturally recrawl your site every month anyway. But if you just want to recrawl it for one of a number of reasons, you can do that. And you can do this up to 10 times a month. But yeah, many people won't need that. So there's a few ones you can do. So the first one is you just want to get an updated list of actions. The second one is probably the most common, where maybe you've built a bunch of new pages or you've optimized a lot of pages. And to save you going in and completing all of those actions individually within Hike or on a page-by-page basis, you can just run this. Or you've totally changed your website. Now, if you click that, what we'll do is we'll delete everything we have in our database for you, and we'll recrawl it from afresh. So there's no legacy actions in there. So that's very powerful if you need to do it. Be very careful if you do though, because like I say, we'll delete all of your completed actions, everything from an action basis. And then one other thing to show you is this little thing. Now this is hidden, but this is really nice. If you click this button here, view pages picked up in last crawl, you'll see every URL that we crawled. You'll see what the response code is. So if we go down here, I can see that they found a 404. So I need to redirect that because we've updated our URL. You can also click on this little button here, and it will show you on that page for everything that we've checked, whether it passed it or it failed it. And you can start to see, okay, so where do I need to improve? Where's the errors? And these are what essentially builds out your actions over time. So that's a nice little feature. Next, I want to jump down to GMB. We mentioned this in the last refresher webinar, and I think there were some questions that Kieran and Nadja didn't answer. So I'm going to go through that now just to show everyone it. So we're just about to roll this out. Kieran and the developer guys have been working hard on this. We're going to roll this out probably in the next week or 2. And I want to show you how it works. So first off, we've got GMB listing. There's 5 features altogether. This is the first one. And essentially what this allows you to do is completely edit your Google My Business listing all directly within Hike. We've connected up with the Google My Business API, and you can edit everything on the fly. So you can update your business logos, your business name, your address, your phone number, all of this information, and you can update your listing, and it will go live immediately. You can post your own questions and answers. This is really nice. So on Google My Business listings now, there's a section where you get business questions and answers. One of the great things is you can ask your own questions and you can answer your own questions. So you're in control of that information. You know, whether it's, what's your customer's most frequently asked question? So for us, it might be, do we have a long-term contract? Is VAT included within our pricing? And we can have all that within our listing. So we can ask it and answer it all within the platform, and manage our media as well. So you can upload all your images, whether it's, your interior images, your exterior images, your team images, you add a photo, within 1 minute, it syncs with Google My Business and updates it. Reviews. So we're going to pull through all of your reviews and track them within here. We'll tell you what your review scores are, which reviews need response. So Google recommends you don't just respond to those negative reviews, you respond to positive reviews as well. And they give you a little boost for that. So you can respond to everything. And we also break it down by sentiment. So if you've got like a lot of reviews, you might want to see, okay, how are words being used in regards to sentiment analysis? Is our delivery reflecting badly in terms of sentiment? Are people, customer service, they not like it? And then you can filter all of your reviews really easily and respond to them. It should make that process a lot easier. Google My Business posts, Google are pushing these a lot at the moment. Really, whenever they push something, they give you these little SEO boosts because they want people to start using them. So one of the difficulties with Google My Business at the moment is that you can't actually schedule. When you go to Google My Business, you've got to do it live there and then, which is a bit of a pain if you want to put lots live over a longer period of time. So what you can do is you can go into here and you go schedule, type of post is what's new, write your post out, all the information you need, your image, and then you can schedule it for a later date. So you could schedule 2 months worth, 3 months worth, 6 months worth, and make sure you've just got them going out consistently, which helps with knowledge cards and driving extra traffic and giving your Google My Business listing an extra boost. And you can see all your scheduled posts and recent posts. Also, insights. So this is like the Google Analytics of Google My Business data. One of the things about using this with Google My Business is you can't compare dates, which is really valuable for kind of tracking how your Google My Business listing is doing over time. So you can set your data up here, but you can press compare and then press apply. And what you can see now is, okay, is my Google My Business getting more map views, more search views, more website visits? And you can compare over time and see how that performance is getting on. We also have got citations, which I won't take you through because I know you guys that's been in the platform for a while. And then we're going to have Google My Business rankings. But we need a few testers actually, because we just need to connect up a few more accounts, do a little bit more testing. So if anyone's interested, do let us know. We probably need about 5 to 10, Kieran. 5 to 10. We need some in the UK, some in the US, and some maybe Europe. Okay, so we need a wide geographical net. So if you're interested, put your names forward. The first ones to do, we don't need everyone, but the first few ones we'll need for testing, right? Oh yeah, so probably just post it. We'll post on the Facebook group. Yeah, we'll post on the Facebook group and just comment on there. And the first few ones we'll be able to test, and we'd really appreciate that if you could help. Awesome. So I think last thing, reporting. So I won't go through traffic because it connects up with Google Analytics. Keyword rankings, something that not everyone knows that we do. Hopefully most of you guys do, but very, very important to keep an eye on your rankings. Now, we track keyword rankings every 2 days. So where you currently rank is the position that you rank for. And obviously you set your location as well during onboarding. So you can set a specific town, city, region, state, or you can go national. We'll track it every 2 days. So you can see where you are now, where you were previously, where you were last week. What you want to be looking for are these greens, because greens means that they're up in comparison to that date range. And you can click on this little button here on the side. And what that does, shows you a graph over time of how long you've been tracking that keyword, up to 3 months, rolling 3 months, and shows you where you perform every time that we crawl. So that's the 4th, that's the 6th. So we had a jump. We were around position 12, page 2 in September. Then we launched the new site. We had a nice jump up for that one. And yeah, so you can just track that over time. You can look at an overall ranking graph. You can export the data. Yeah, all of that good stuff. So keep an eye on that one. That's really important. And then let me show you very, very quickly. Backlinks. Right, we've got a few minutes left. All the backlinks. But remember, just with the competitors, you can export your own backlinks. Now, when you export the data, you get a lot more. You'll get the source URL, source domain, the anchor text, target URL, the date found, the link type, citation flow, and trust flow. So we give a score of 0 to 10 because that's probably the easiest way to visualize it. But if you want to go into a little bit more detail, this is the actual information we get through from Majestic before we work out a score out of 10. So you can deep dive. If you're doing like a link audit, a link clean, go through, look at those with very low trust flows, very low citation flows. Where are those links coming from? There's a lot here with zeros. Do we need to review those? Are they spammy backlinks? Do we need to create a disavow? You can get that information from within here. Also, you can look at your lost backlinks. Again, we get this data from Majestic. So these are links that we might have lost over the previous month or the previous amount of time. So you want to have a look at those. and you can filter by date as well. Okay. And then the final thing to show, your link opportunities is where you'll see backlinks, where 2 or more of your competitors have got a backlink from the same place and you don't. Great finding guest blog opportunities, maybe those niche directories where you can submit your website. But the journalist outreach, hopefully you guys are all using it. You know, we've had some users that have built links on, I think, Yahoo Finance, Huffington Post, Forbes. Christmas time, especially if you're in e-com, it's an amazing time to find journalists. They're all writing posts about holiday gift guides, what to buy, you know, my family, my friends. Plug in some keywords. Make the keywords as generic as possible. If you're putting in the tracked keywords as very specific terms, you're not going to get that many requests because the keywords track the exact content used within these requests from the journalist. So try and use as general keywords as you can. You're casting your net wider, and you're going to get through more journalist requests. Yeah, absolutely do that. Switch on off email notifications to help with that. And respond to those. And I think, it's just, if you're going to spend a lot of time into backlink building, which, you know, I do advise people do, this is a way of how we build a lot of our links. I posted the other day, someone posted a request saying how to give a SaaS demo. It took me 5 minutes to respond. I got an email back saying that, yeah, they're going to include it. And we've got a backlink, the easiest backlink we've built. And, you know, if you can do that for your own website, sometimes you've got to go a little bit creative for the tracked keywords, especially if you're in quite a niche industry. Sometimes the best thing to do is, we're all small businesses, it's just to add in the phrase small business, because you'll get journalists that are looking for tips for small businesses, how to run small businesses, you know. That's a great way of finding them if you can't find anything in your particular niche or industry. Right, my mouth's really, really dry. I'm talking for an hour. Hopefully everyone found it useful. I'm going to share the recordings tomorrow. Let us know with feedback on the Facebook group. We'll put up the post as well for Google My Business testers. So if you do want to help us out and test, that'd be fantastic. I'm just going to hold fire. I just want to make sure that Kieran and Nadia, you're still responding to any questions. Oh, okay. Well, we're gonna have to jump off because we've got another call. But any questions that we haven't answered, post them on the group. Any feedback would be fantastic. And yeah, thanks a lot, guys. Really appreciate it.